What's up, everybody? On a podcast now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about this statue yet again. It continues to elude quite literally everybody on the face of this earth except for Jeff Keighley and except for Jason Schreier. Jason Schreier, of course, playing hard to get, talks about, he definitely knows what it is. I believe his exact words were, "It's a good one." That's the announcement. But he will not be reporting on it, even though he did report on it. And even though he directly shut down Jez Corden, who is becoming more unreliable by the minute, who really spoke and said, hey, this is Diablo 4's DLC, and then said, oh, I guess it's not Diablo 4's DLC. Well, actually, Schreier called him out specifically and said that's not what it is. Now, here's the deal. I think we can actually take a couple things from this, all right? Number one, this is not Diablo 4 DLC, but because I will, I guess, go along with Jez Corden a little bit, maybe he meant that there is just Diablo 4 DLC that's going to be at the Game Awards, so I guess mark that on your bingo board. You're going to get Diablo 4 DLC. Like I said in yesterday's video, that is cool. That is big to an extent. Diablo is massive and Diablo 4 is massive. Doesn't move the needle much for me, okay? So that's one thing to say. Now, a couple other things happened today. We had Cory Barlog climbing out of whatever cave he was, trapped in for the last little while, and I make that joke, but I really think that's something that not a lot of people are focusing on. So he was on, I believe, Luke Stevens' live stream, and he specifically said it's not a statue for God of War. Now, I want to say a couple things here, all right? Number one, I appreciate him coming out of hiding to answer that question. Number two, him saying it's not God of War doesn't really mean anything to me. If you want to take him at face value, that's totally cool. Companies can lie, and of course, if they're going to protect a massive Game Awards reveal, they're gonna lie. They're gonna but why would he kind of come out of hiding and just say that completely, like, just out of pocket? And that's a lie. Like, why would he, kind of out himself like in that way? In that way, I want to kind of believe him. But I will also say this in terms of him kind of coming out of hiding. So you're coming out of hiding to say no to God of War. Well, number one, that Metroidvania God of War game is going to get announced at some point, right? So if this statue's not for God of War, that doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to see maybe that Metroidvania God of War. Okay, that's number one. Number two, is he coming out of hiding because it's his game that's going to be shown at the Game Awards? And there's really no pushback to that one. I know, people are really trying to latch on to Jason Schreier because he's one of the very few people in the insider community. He's one of the very few people that actually does know what Cory Barlog's game is. Almost nobody knows but him. Him saying it's a good one doesn't mean it has to be Cory Barlog's, but to put two and two together in that way, like, okay, it's not Diablo 4's DLC, it's probably not God of War Egypt, and I would buy that, and I would probably buy Cory's, statement, just kind of shutting it down. But why does he have to come out to shut it down? I guess that's one thing. Is that really necessary? And then it is definitely interesting timing. He would do something like that, considering the Game Awards is 10 days away. Are you going to show your game off? His game has been in the works for freaking forever. We really should see his game rather soon. And I hope we do. I am so freaking excited for it. It obviously has so much potential. But here we are, years and years and years in, and we still haven't seen it yet. In terms of what it could be at this point, you have people speculating it's a brand new IP. You have people speculating, I'm hearing the From Software. When I say hearing, I'm just seeing it. I don't have, people on the inside. It really seems like there's nobody on the inside that knows this stuff except for Schreier. Let me just also say, because I don't think I've said it yet, bravo to Jeff Keighley. People talk about overhyping, and if he overhypes, he may overhype a lot. Hype men tend to do that. But you know what? That's also part of their job, is to overhype. And this statue has got people talking. Regardless, people are talking about the statue. It's exactly what they want. They were misled with Diablo, and now they're kind of back to square one, which is complete unknown. And that's really cool. If it's a bust, it'll, I think, be even, or when I say it's a bust, well, it will be a bust if it's something that's, again, doesn't move the needle to a large group of people. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm seeing people say From Software. I feel like, does it have those vibes? I feel like it has the vibes, but the actual, symbols or creatures and whatnot, in the actual statue, I don't know if it actually gives off From Soft vibe, but I just feel like this lit up, right? This in this red. it does give off like some sort of, but I could probably argue that for a couple different games, right? Doesn't also, I saw somebody I think joking about Dante's Inferno. Yeah, you could fool me into believing this is Dante's Inferno. You could fool me into believing this is FromSoft. I think that's fun though. I do think that kind of keeps the mystery alive. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. By the way, I see a lot of people saying Saros, and there is that promotional picture of like the thing like holding its arms out, and there's red dots, and it does mirror this a little bit, but number one, I don't think the statue, like this full statue, reflects Saros. I do feel like the red kind of outlines, like the things that stick out, I think that maybe matches Saros a little bit better. But here's the thing. Here's where I would read into Jason Schreier. If it was Saros, wouldn't he just say it? Like, I don't know where his pride is. I don't know where his journalistic integrity is. Half these people don't even have it, but I don't know where that lies. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a Saros reveal, is that something that he feels morally obligated to not discuss, but also say it's a good one? By the way, not doubting that Saros is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a great game. Returnal is one of the best PS5 games, period. Okay, let me just throw that out there. But does Saros move the needle in the way that it's a good one, as Schreier says? At the same time, what's it's a good one to Jason Schreier? Is Kingdom Hearts 4 considered a good one to him? Like, where's his scale? I have always said, like, I'm not a big fan of him as a person. I don't know what his gaming tastes are, to be honest with you. I don't know what games he even plays. So it's really tough to kind of nail specifically, like, where it's a good one lies in his library of video games. It's almost impossible. And at the same time, this is what they want. This is what these people, they want us to go insane is really what I'm saying. But no, it is fun. I honestly feel like it's a lot of good fun. And again, as long as I'm not saying it has to be GTA 6 level, okay? I'm not saying it has to be Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls is something that people continue to throw out there as an idea. Could it be Elder Scrolls 6? That would be really cool. Does that move the needle? I think it absolutely does. Does it have to be that size? Maybe not. But if it's going to be, I think DLC is where you draw the line and say, okay, that wasn't necessary. Like, you don't have to go this hard and mislead people this much just for it to be DLC this time. And that's really, I think, where I was with the Diablo rumor is like, it's fine. And I would expect DLC announcements to be at the Game Awards. Do you need to build this for that? I don't think so. And you could argue that for a lot of different things, right? So I'll keep my eyes open and let you know what I see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and hope to see you all on the next one.